Hello everyone, today I'm going to share with you some of the things that I've got to like so much about American culture and also the African culture, my culture, Zimbabwean culture, because all of them somehow I have learned that if we learn to put these cultures together, we can actually become maybe somewhat wholesome instead of just this is my culture, because some of the things they are not working very well and some things they work very well. So these are some of my take. They are not everything because I'm still in the process of still learning a lot of the different cultures and also trying to put things together, my own culture and the Western culture, which is America. One of the things for sure is openness. When I came to this country, I found out people were so open to the degree that shocked me. Is I'm sure you have seen many videos. People would literally meet maybe in a store, at a restaurant, standing in a line, at a bank, whatever it could be. And they could ask each other personal information. For example, they would say, where do you work? Well, I work at this place, how much do you get? I get this much amount. My God, that was so shocking to me, right? But at the same time, I have learned to actually adapt to this culture and learn to know that this is actually not all the way bad. Maybe to a certain degree, it's pretty maybe too much. But on the other hand, I don't think it's all the way bad because this openness allows people to share about things that they wouldn't ordinarily share. For example, I know that in counseling, for example, really this is a huge issue, right? People who are in a culture that is enclosed, like in Africa, many people, you would not hear about someone's salary. A family member, sometimes a wife or a husband don't know another person is salary. And what, about a stranger that you meet, no way, you wouldn't know about their salary. Now, all these things, they are hidden up. So if also there's issues in the family, this same thing, things are hidden up. If there is things like abuse, things are also hidden up. But because of the openness of Americans, I found out that things like abuse, things like, things that are happening in the family that is not so accepted, they actually can be taken care better because they are open to share about them. They want to share about them, So naturally, it's a natural response to the situation. It's not like they have to struggle about this. It's a natural response. They want to share about them and they will share about them. The number two that I found out is the sharing of responsibility. Sharing of responsibility when I first came actually was very weird to me to see a man standing and cooking and the wife is there. I would understand it if the wife is not there or if there's no children who are big or something like that, girls who are big enough, or my father stayed alone, so him cooking was not a problem because he was alone most of the time in the city and the family was in the country. So he always cooked by himself, and sometimes when a guest come, he always have to cook for that guest himself because he was alone. But it was strange to me in the beginning. It was not very normal to me. But as I learned how things really work and how sometimes the responsibilities can be a lot for one person, I came to realize this sharing of responsibility, I think it's really a wonderful thing because they help each other with the household things, the cleaning, raising the children. That means that even waking up at night, the baby cries, you wake up and you give the bottle. Things like that. If the baby is not on a breastfeeding, you give the bottle. Things like that, I think they are really a great thing that I feel people have to do. When they work, the same thing, they come home, they help each other maybe to prepare dinner or something like that. Of course, not everybody is doing this, not every family is doing this, but I have seen that at least it's something that is being encouraged and it's something that is being practiced with some families, even though not everybody has adapted to it. But it's not strange when someone sees it happening. It's a normal thing, and sometimes people want to adapt because it's just normal and it's a good thing. This sharing in Africa, for example, men, there's so much distinctive about responsibility, especially most of the time when you hear me talking, please understand I grew up in the country, and I'm talking a lot of the experiences of the country lifestyle. So sometimes they could be very different from someone who have lived in the city, who was born in the city and grew up there. Could be very different. So this experience, I'm talking about country lifestyle. In the country, the responsibilities is people have fields, so they are all farmers. That's how people survive. So there's plowing of fields, there's raising of livestock, cows, whatever animals that you might be raising. There is building of houses, there's weeding, the thing. Then there's this big household responsibility that doesn't end. For example, the women, they have to go, they do all these other responsibility. The only thing I would say they don't really participate so much in is the building of houses, the plowing with a plower, with a cow in front, and then they have this like a big thing that plows the land. That women normally don't really participate in that, but they participate in all the field work, in plowing, in weeding, in harvesting, all the responsibility in that area. They participate. On top of that, they have to participate in fetching firewood, cooking, cleaning. All these things, they are not easy because most of them you have to go somewhere and go and come back with a big thing. Some of these pictures, as you can see right here, women, they are carrying a baby, they have a big bucket on their head, then they are holding another bucket again. They have to learn techniques like balancing your things on their head, which is like an art, but at the same time, actually, I think it really was, it came as a necessity that was there because people needed to find a way how they can do all their responsibilities without without like going back and forth, because they had to do all these things in a day's time. They have to go to the field, they have to come back, they have to go to fetch firewood, they have to go and fetch water, they have to then cook, then, so all these responsibilities have to be done in a day. And they have to find a way how they can lessen up the responsibility. Men, while they are doing that, if there is the fields didn't yield, there's no crops, they couldn't harvest that year, women, they pretty much take the full responsibility for the most part. Again, there could be some exceptional men there who go out and hustle to find how the family can eat, but at the same time, I'm talking again on larger portion of the people. The women, they are the ones who figure what to do. The fields did not harvest. We have to have gardens. We have to go and maybe work at somebody's garden to get some money so we can buy food. They are the one again to figure how to provide in a sense. So they are the ones who go out there and hustle the whole entire time. So that sharing of responsibility in the American way, the Western way, I kind of like it because everybody kind of like, okay, so what shall we do? We need to do this, and everybody participate and everybody do what is supposed to be done. And then another thing that I really like is the idea of the promotion of opportunities in all gender. In America, the promotion is not the question of a person can do this and that and that. It's what's being said about you doing this and that and that. For example, I grew up in an area where even my going to school was a struggle for my father, because the neighbors, all the neighbors, they gather together and they look at him sending his children to school, paying school fees. They always look at it as if it was wasting money, because I'm a girl, I'm going to get married. Yeah, I got married. So, I'm going to get married and I'm going to be somewhere else. Yes, I am somewhere else. And I'm going to give all what I was given by my father to another family. So to them was like, why are you doing all this? So things like a child will grow up being a doctor, an engineer, a truck driver, a whatever. Like, I am just like anybody. I can do anything. That encouragement is not there. It's not like you can push your way out and you can do it. And many people have done it. We have doctors, we have engineers, we have everything in this society we have. But it's a small percentage. Why? Because those things, they are not encouraged in the society where these children are growing up. There's nothing that is encouraged to know that, you can be anything. The fourth point is, I sure didn't know that I was short. I didn't know my features. It's like I knew, but I didn't, because nobody ever expressed how I look. When I came to America, it's still very shocking, surprising. People, they scrutinize you. They scrutinize into detail. They talk about your hair, they talk about your complexion, your height, your weight. They talk about everything. And that's how I came to find out I'm short. I had no idea I'm short. I thought I'm just a person. That's pretty much the way we see each other. Complexion, I remember we had, really light complexion people. And, we never talk about it. It's nothing. If we are talking about it, maybe someone is saying, do you know that woman, or do you know that man who is like this? But not in the sense like people, they really look at you and they are looking at these features and they're trying to find out how they are like. And I was told I was from so many different places. I was Ethiopian, I was Portuguese, I think. I was all kinds of nationalities. And I came to find out I'm a citizen of all nations, so that's wonderful. But all these things, I never realized that actually I am this way until I came to this country. I don't know whether to say this is good or this is not good. I don't know, or I can say that it's something, I would say, to a certain degree, you get to kind of learn who you are. You learn who you are, but I don't know if it is all necessary. The other thing that I came to learn is in America, there's so much emphasis about I, me. In Africa, we don't have so much that emphasis. It's like a natural way. There's always we, our home, our car, our this. Why? Because because things are scarce. Things are not that as many. But also, I believe it supports the culture of it takes a village. It takes a village. It's a culture that is there in the African, I would say African really on this, in the African society, because when you are not there, your child have to be secure. Your animals have to be secure. Your home have to be secure. Why? Because the neighbors, they are a part of your family. They are part of your child. They are part of your animals. They are part of your home. So the idea of mine is not as strong, because we have to preserve the idea that one day I'm not going to be there. So who is going to be there? who is going to be there. Whereas in America, it's like, do I care? I don't care, because I have my thing and you have yours. And I have my home, you should have yours. If you don't have one, you should have yours. So there's not that like I need you, sort of. I have my child, I'm raising my child the way I want. There's not that whole thing like we are doing this together. I don't know if I'm not very keen about this, but at the same time, one hand, I'm kind of like, it's also a good way of building the individual, the individuality, like really this is me. This is what I can do. This is what I have accomplished. This is, it's like it also builds that. So on that hand, I kind of really like that too. I wish if he can blend a little bit more, where people, they still think about one another. But it's a lack, because you can have neighbors, like I always say, our neighbors in America, they're more closer to us. Every neighbor, even people in the country, they are more closer in terms of distance to one another. Unlike like in Africa, people are not as close. They live maybe half a mile away from one another, but they actually know each other more. They understand each other more. They visit each other more. They know each other more. But in America, I can have a neighbor that is 2 feet away from me. I don't know them, and that's a downfall. If I have a situation in my home, that's mine. It's not a neighbor's situation, and they are not going to come and knock at my door to find out what's going on. It's yours. That's it. So I feel, there's some legs there that I don't like so much, but at the same time, it's people's cultures, and on the other hand, as I've said, I like some things. Well, my last point is on respect. Respect among, I would start in a family, among parents and children. There is a very serious and embedded way of respect in the African culture that is there, and you cannot take it out. And thus children, they are raised and they grow up, they are given, right? Everybody knows that. Everywhere, in every culture, we know that. That's the way it works. And as they reach a certain age, they have to also give back. So, for example, responsibilities that I was talking about, women, they always wake up and clean the yard, do the cooking and all that, When children, they are growing up, when they reach a certain age, they are already taught these responsibilities. And after they are taught, they know. At a certain age again, they get to understand that actually they have to pick up this responsibility. Instead of the mother waking up 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning and go and clean the yard, it will be the child now. It won't be like a child, a small child. We are talking somewhere from maybe 12 years old to up, And, they start learning this responsibility on a smaller level with help. And then when they get to be like really grown, the responsibility sort of transfers, the young adult start taking that responsibility and help the mother in the home, help the father, and help, in different areas much more. For example, if, let's say, the mother cooks, the mother cannot cook and go again and wash the dishes. So they cook, they know clearly, the younger person there, the child or whoever is the younger person, they have to take the dishes, then they have to go and wash. This is like a real giving and receiving that I have found out that works, because in America, it's very, very difficult, because this is not taught. This is not in their system. So in the society system. So, the children, they sit all the way. If they can make it to sit all the way, they can sit. You know, they don't take responsibility. I remember my father, my father came here before he died, and we visited some families, and for dinner they invited. And in one particular family, the father was cooking. And my father actually received that very well. At his age, maybe it was going to be difficult to see the husband cooking, and the wife was there, but he was cooking. He accepted that. He said, that's good. You know, people, they are helping each other. I thought that was very reformed, good. But at the same time, after we finished eating, the mother stood up and she was collecting dishes, and she was the one cleaning up and washing. There were children there who were big enough to do that. And my father was like, that was, it wasn't a good thing for him. So these things, they are all, you know, like, you know, if we think about it, some of the things we can pretty much know this is not maybe the best way to do. We can kind of switch some things, some gears somewhere, and some things we can know this is the right thing to do because it feels good. For example, if you look at those women carrying the baby and a bucket on their head and this, I think you can tell it doesn't feel good. I've done it. It doesn't feel good. You know, you are tired, exhausted, and you know, you don't like that. But you know, if people can be sensitive enough to know what really feels good, that's really become a culture. That's what it is. It's a culture. Things that we practice over and over and over again become a culture. So you haven't subscribed, I am here to give you value, things that people really like to know. There's so many things when I talk with my family, they don't know. So these are some of the things that I share with you, just touching a small part of Africa. But a lot of them, they kind of like embrace most parts of Africa. There's a few things that might not embrace, you know, because there's different things that comes in between. But, you know, it embraces Africa. For those who are moving, the diasporas, subscribe to the channel, hit this notification button so that we can give you more of this coming up, and share the videos. There are other people, as much as you think, maybe yourself, you might think, this is, I don't care, you know, I'm not going to go anywhere. But there are some people who really want to know. And that will be very helpful for them to know these, it's like a glimpse. That's what I'm giving you. I'm giving you a glimpse of different cultures. And that glimpse will help you to kind of like be ready somehow. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Be here again next week. I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.